So this is usually the idea. So why did people in unified Silla want to go to China, Central Asia, or India? They wanted to learn new interpretation or new sutras of Buddhism, but they also wanted to get these holy relics. So these are reliquary boxes. So if somebody travels to Central Asia and India, this is very small, something like you can hold in your palm, very small container made of silver usually, and you are going to put that precious ash. It's like a little powder, more like a flour or sugar type of powder inside, and then you will carry it back. And once you come to your own country, you are going to make a little bit more elaborate reliquary, gilt bronze with these beautiful lotus flowers. And usually you have 3 container set, or you're going to get 5 container set, or 7 or 9. Usually it goes into the odd number. So 9 container ensemble would be really, really precious. So lotus flowers and vines, that's meaningful. So how small that is? 4.5 centimeters, very small. And then you have a bigger containers. So what do you do? Sometimes your reliquary looks like this. So it's made of glass, not made of silver. So there is glass. It has like a little cap. So that contains a precious relic. And then they put it in a larger glass cup. And then they built this golden pagoda, or the golden golden pavilion style structure, and then this will be entered inside that 3-story pagodas. So I'm going to read. Reliquaries were central objects of Buddhist worship, which contained relics of the historical Buddha Shakyamuni and were placed inside the pagodas, the focal point of the temple plan. This example was found at the base of a pagoda in Songrimsa Temple near Gyeongju. And then the green glass cup in the center of the reliquary, decorated with 12 rings of coiled glass, like a little, coiled glass on the surface. This type of object was from Persian or Syrian prototype. So these are imported foreign foreign glasswork. The treasury of the Shoso-in building in is a similar example with this green cup in the reliquaries. The cup was made for saving the relics of the body of the Buddha. So they were looking for really precious materials. So this is a typical temple plan. Again, you go through the inner gate, then you are going to meet pagodas, and then you will going to have the main hall, so like a single axis plan. But the focal point is this one. What is it? The pagoda. Number 4 is pagoda. So inside the pagoda, you're supposed to put this type of tiny reliquaries. So it is important that you watch the documentary on Sakguram and Bulguksa and read essays by Lee Seung-mi and Kang Woo-bang. So during the Silla dynasty, what I want to emphasize is the people in Silla had international style. So international means the style of middle of the 7th and 8th century. International style means it was found in Central Asia, it was found in China, and it was also in Korea. I mean, unified Silla. So if you see these guardian figure, for example, in Longman Cave of Tang Dynasty, and if you see these are carved stone relief sculpture, and if you see another guardian holding the pagoda in one hand, made in a gold casket, like a gold reliquary. Do you recognize the similarities? Can somebody volunteer what the similarities are? Yes?
Um,
Hello?
yeah, sorry. It's the figures look kind of similar and they're standing in almost the same position and they're posed very similarly to holding something.
Okay, yeah, that's very good point. So, as guardian figures, both the statues have strong armor, right? The armor comes to the knee area, and as a guardian figure, they have another iconography of stepping on a monster or an animal that is related to their function. So they will appear and help us from calamities, and they also look little ferocious and strong figure. But the pose, it is really interesting, right? Look at the pose. The hip area is a little bit tilted out, right? And you have a shift of weight. And then the other leg is sort of a comfortably idling on one side with the knee bent. So this style, also if you see another really ferocious figure, he also have this going to the outside, right? So these are called three bent posture. Three bent posture. So where are they bent? Like a shoulder is this way, hip is going this way, and then knee is going this way. So three bent posture is a device to give a little bit of animation or sense of motion to static figures. So that was originated from India, and it moved through Central Asia, China, and then it was very often used in unified Silla. So that is the sign of international style. And figures with these wide eyes and well delineated nose, these are also signs of looking at Indian examples. So we discussed, I read your discussions about ancient tombs, and most of you added supplements explaining that after the Buddhism was introduced, funerary custom changed. So people no longer built large tombs like this because as a devout Buddhist, people were burnt to ashes, even ordinary citizens, so that so that people put their ashes in a funerary urn or little glass or containers, but they didn't build large tombs like this. And then some of you mentioned like a material wealth is something that you should give up. So that's a good point too. In Buddhism, sharing wealth is very emphasized, right? Charity. You donate your land or your material wealth to Buddhist monasteries or Buddhist temples so that they can create a large Buddhist statues or fund the education of Buddhist monks. So these are better cause, right? Since Three Kingdoms period in the tombs and nowadays in unified Silla dynasty inside the pagodas, what you are going to see is this type of exotic glass containers. And these glass containers are usually from here, former territory of ancient Rome or Byzantine Empire. That's where these vessels traveled. And because they are very precious and travel a long distance, they are used as reliquaries, Buddhist reliquaries in the unified Silla dynasty.